Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Paint with Lovejoy audio blog. This is just a place for me to read my articles on my blog in my voice. If you prefer to just read them, please check the link below. If you have any questions, please leave a comment or send an email. Today's topic is the quiet power of going tech-free and creating something just for you. So you do want to put down the phone and pick up a paintbrush. There's a moment most of us know very well. You pick up your phone to check one thing, maybe it's a message, the weather, or a quick social media notification. Then somehow 20 minutes disappears. Maybe even 30 or 40 minutes disappear. You have been scrolling, watching, reading, and taking in one thing after another. It can feel like a break, but when you finally put the phone down, you do not always feel rested. Sometimes you feel even more distracted than before. Your mind is still moving, your attention feels scattered, and despite consuming so much, very little of it feels meaningful or memorable. Technology is a part of our lives, and it's not going anywhere. But there's something deeply valuable about choosing to step away from it for a while, not as a punishment, and not because you need a dramatic digital detox, but because your mind may be asking for a different kind of experience. Less consuming, more creating. Less noise, more presence. And sometimes the simplest way to find that is to put down the phone and pick up a paintbrush. Why tech-free feels different. When you step away from a screen, even for a short period of time, you create space. There is no notifications asking for your attention. There's no endless stream of other people's opinions, accomplishments, vacations, homes, pets, businesses, or perfectly edited moments. There's nothing new to click, to refresh, to compare, or to respond to. There is simply you and whatever is directly in front of you. At first, that can feel unfamiliar. We have become so accustomed to filling every quiet moment that stillness can almost feel uncomfortable. We reach for our phones while we're standing in line, waiting for an appointment, eating alone, or even watching television. But when we allow a little bit of space to remain open, something begins to shift. We notice our surroundings. We hear our own thoughts. We become more aware of how we actually feel. Tech-free time is not empty time. It can be restorative time. It gives your attention a chance to settle instead of constantly being pulled in different directions. Creating with your hands offers a different kind of calm. There's something grounding about making something with your hands. Painting, drawing, mixing colors, gardening, baking, sewing, building, or working on any creative project that asks you to be present in a way scrolling does not. You cannot paint a brushstroke that already happened or one that might happen 10 minutes from now. You can only work with the brushstroke that's right in front of you, that's right now. You look, you make a decision, you place the brush on the canvas. Then you look again. That rhythm naturally brings your attention into the present moment. When you are painting, you're not trying to absorb 10 different pieces of information at once. You're focusing on a shape, a color, a line, or one small section of the image. You're working step by step. Your thoughts may still wander, but the painting keeps inviting you back to the color you were mixing, back to the movement of the brush, back to what your hands are doing. It's a quieter form of attention, and for many people, it becomes a much more satisfying way to unwind. Painting a pet makes the experience even more meaningful. Creating something connected to an animal you love adds another layer to the experience. A pet portrait is not just a painting exercise. It's it's a personal experience. You know the face, you know the expression they make when they want something, You know the way they sit and tilt their head, the shape of their ears, and the tiny details that makes them completely unique and uniquely themselves. Maybe your pet is curled up beside you while you paint. Maybe they are following you around the room, wondering why you keep looking for the photograph to the canvas. Or maybe you are painting a pet you have lost and you're creating something that helps you honor the life you shared. Either way, the subject matter means something to you. That emotional connection helps pull you out of the constant stream of outside information and into something that belongs to your own life. You're not creating because of an algorithm placed something in front of you. You are creating because you love this animal. You are spending time looking closely at their face, remembering their personality, and turning that connection into something tangible. That kind of attention feels very different from scrolling past hundreds of images you may never remember. Creativity is not about getting everything right or getting everything perfect. One of the biggest things I've noticed in the more than 15 years that I've been teaching is how often people arrive believing they need to get everything right, need to get everything perfect. They want to know the correct color, the correct brush, the correct amount of paint, the correct place to start. And they are afraid that one mistake will ruin the entire painting. But art and life doesn't work that way. Painting is a process of adjusting. You add a brushstroke, you add a layer, you step back, you notice what is working and what needs to change. You lighten an area, you maybe darken another, you cover something, you reshape it, you soften it, and you try different approaches. You respond to what is actually on the canvas rather than fighting for the perfect image that you imagined in the beginning or that you're trying to hold in your head. And honestly, like I said earlier, it's not so different from life. We rarely have ideal conditions in life. We make decisions with the information, energy, resources, and circumstances available to us. Then we adjust. We learn. We work with what is in front of us. Painting gives us a low pressure place to practice just that. A line can be changed. A color can be painted over or mixed again. A section can be readjusted. You learn that imperfect steps does not mean the entire project has failed. It simply means that you keep going, you keep learning, and you keep growing. Creating feeds your mind differently than consuming. There is a major difference between watching someone else make something and making something yourself. Watching can be enjoyable and inspiring, but creating actually asks more of you. You make decisions in real time. You solve small problems. You coordinate what your eyes see and what your hands are doing. You experiment. You learn what happens when you use more water, use more paint, use less paint, use a smaller brush, use a different kind of pressure. You're not passively receiving information. You are actively participating in the moment. And that participation creates a different kind of satisfaction. There is often a moment near the end of class when the students step back, look at the painting, and they all say something like, "What? That actually looks like my pet. Oh my gosh, I actually made that looks better than I thought." All those statements I hear in just about every class in the second half of class. We do have to get there. And the moment never gets old. I truly find a lot of pride when I hear my students make those comments about their in-process painting and even their finished painting. It's the realization that they are capable of doing something that they thought they could not do prior. And they didn't watch someone else be creative, they experienced their own creativity. Real rest is not always passive. We often, we often assume that relaxing means doing as little as possible. We collapse on the couch, turn on a show, and scroll on another screen all at the same time. Your body may be still, but our minds are still processing at a constant stream of information and at a constant high speed. True rest can sometimes come from focused simplicity instead. One activity, one project, one thing asking for your attention. Creative work gives your mind somewhere gentle to land. You're not trying to be productive in the usual sense. You're not answering emails, you're not making plans, you're not completing a task for someone else. You're simply making something in the moment. That can interrupt overthinking. It can interrupt comparison, and it can interrupt the feeling that your attention belongs to everyone and everything else except you. For a little while you paint, you return to your own pace. You do not need to be an artist to take a creative class. So many adults avoid creative activities because they believe the result has to be impressive. All my students say things like, I can't draw. I'm not artistic. I would mess that up. I can't even draw a stick figure. But creativity is not reserved for people who already feel confident. You do not need to identify as an artist to benefit from making art. You do not need to show anyone what you create. You do not even need to post it online. You don't need to turn it into a business or a side hustle or something productive. You are allowed to create simply because the process feels good. You're allowed to be curious. You're allowed to be a beginner. You're allowed to make something imperfect and still enjoy the experience. In fact, sometimes keeping the experience private makes it even more meaningful. It becomes something you did for yourself rather than something that you created for approval or created to post. So if you're coming to Sedona, a creative reset in Sedona. If you live in Sedona or are planning a trip here, an in-person painting workshop with me can be a wonderful way to start this and build a tech-free time into your day. My Sedona painting workshops at my studio in West Sedona are designed specifically for first-timers and beginners. If you have never painted before, this is the class to start with. You don't need to arrive knowing how to draw or paint. I will guide you through the entire process, step by step. I'll help you when you get stuck, and I create a very relaxed and supportive environment where you can focus on the experience without feeling pressured or judged. You can paint a pet that you love, or you can choose one of my beginner-friendly pick your painting projects. The goal is not to rush through the class or to make everyone's painting look exactly the same. The goal is to give you a couple of hours to slow down, use your hands, learn something new, and leave with something personal that you created. Come hang out in my world for a couple of hours and then go back to your life. This is a different type of Sedona experience. Not another place to hurry to get a photograph, not another activity where you need your phone to be a part of every moment. You just sit, you paint, and you be where you are at. You be in the moment. Though, a side note, I will have you take progress photos because that's actually quite important to encourage your creativity to do it again. For my San Diego workshops, I still return to San Diego several times a year. I love going back there to teach my in-person workshops and to hang out with my friends and to go to the beach. These classes have the exact same structure. This is actually San Diego's where I started teaching Paint Your Pet. So they're just like my Sedona workshops and vice versa. My Sedona workshops are just like my San Diego workshops. These are classes that have the same beginner-friendly structure and step-by-step guidance. They are a chance to step away from your usual routine, spend time creating, and paint something meaningful in a supportive environment. So many of my San Diego students return again and again and again. I am so grateful. Not because they suddenly decided they needed to become professional artists, but because they enjoy the process and how it makes them feel. And I've also noticed nobody just has one pet. So they do have to come and paint all of their pets and their new pets that they adopt. So they get to enjoy having a few hours, hang out in my world. Their attention is focused, their hands are busy, and they're creating something that matters to them. And again, it makes me really happy and excited. If you cannot make my San Diego or Sedona classes, you can create at home. Um, Maybe your version of a creative reset is comfortable clothes, your favorite drink, your pet actually there, and an afternoon in your quiet space with nowhere else to be. My self-paced Paint Your Pet online courses guide you through the process step by step so you can work at your own pace. And you can also paint as many pets as you want for the time frame that you sign up for the course. You can pause when you need to. You can repeat one of the video sections. You can take a break. You can return the next day. You don't have to do it in the 3 hour time frame that I have for my in-person classes. You can go at your pace. There's no need to keep up with anybody or finish in that time frame. Finish in a short time frame. So if you want to try that, you can check out my free painting tutorials on the Paint with Lovejoy YouTube channel, and I have plenty on there, and I narrate through all of them, or check out my online Paint Your Pet class on the Lovejoy Creations website. And the important part is not where you create, it's giving yourself permission to begin and to create.